Hi. Hello. How are you? Happy Saturday. Oh, sorry I'm late. Very late. Sorry. So late. Oh my god. Hold on. Okay. How are you? Hi. Okay. I think we're ready to go. Today, I'm going to be doing another ink wash, or trying to. I gotta admit my head's not in it yet. It's gonna take me a minute. My hair's still wet from when I washed it today, so it's a little bit cattywampus. So that's happening. Hi, Cat! Happy Saturday. Hi, Emma. How are you? So we're gonna do our best with what we got going on. Like I said, I'm not in the headspace yet. I don't know if I'm gonna be, but we're gonna attempt to be. And you know what? If I don't ever get into it, that's okay, because I can reprint this another time and try again. And no big deal. Since this was a digital sketch that I printed on watercolor paper, if I screw up, it's cool. I can do it again, so no big deal. Got my mixing tray. Gonna dust that off by using a brush that I'm gonna dust off. Don't worry though, I've been keeping them pretty good. Hi, Fabletail! How are you? Okay, so I have to tape this to my workstation because I didn't have any boards handy. Usually I would tape it to a board. As I said, no boards handy, so gotta make do with what I got. Let me do something. Buffering, disable, buffering, enable. That should be better. Hi, Tiny Drawings! Hello, 3-year-old! Welcome. How's everybody's Saturday been so far? I don't know why I'm so late today. I guess I just got started late and everything just kind of rippled. So, for those who are new, I don't normally do humans. I mean, I do, but not very often. So, if you catch me doing one, it's a blue moon. But, I don't know. I try to get in some variety now and then. If I have the craving for it, I go for it. But yeah, today we're going to be doing another ink wash. Now, this one doesn't have any parts of it that need the masking fluid like last week's, but there are parts that are lighter. It is going to come out looking like a toned piece again. I actually had printed it on my toned paper, and I made this wanting to do an ink wash, like this drawing with doing an ink wash in mind, and then this morning when I was printing it out, I was like, maybe I want to do it with markers, so I did it on my toned paper, and then halfway through I was like, no, I can probably do it in ink wash, I'll get in the groove, and I still don't know if I will, but we'll see. If I don't, if I mess it up, if anything happens, I can switch over to the other one. And if that doesn't work, I can try again another time. Just sometimes when your head's not in the space to do something, or it is the day before and then it's not the next day, you can always, switch up. It's just I had stuff prepped, so I might as well follow through. Because if you're an artist, sometimes you have cravings to do things. Sometimes you don't want to do things that you had a craving for. Things change. It's okay. So the fact I had to tape this to my workstation means I can't really rotate it. I can slightly, but it's like 15 degrees. It's not very much. So we'll deal with it. Oh, go for it, Kat. Just get a couple inks you think you'd like. See, here's what it looks like separated, right? So, remember, for ink, you don't want to shake it. You want to roll it, swirl it, or tip it. You never want to shake it, because that's going to really mess it up. Gotta remember, I don't have my scratch paper with me, or do I? Maybe I do. Yeah, I do. Last week's scrap paper, so I can use that as kind of my swatch sheet. Kind of. So I'll show you my lighting mock-up. I don't usually do lighting mock-ups, but for this one I wanted a very specific lighting scheme, so I'll show you that. I did that digitally, so you kind of know where I'm heading with this. It's kind of a spoiler, but I guess it's also not, because you still have to see me do it. It's like knowing NASCAR, somebody's going to win, somebody's going to crash, and the race is going to end at some point. It's like seeing that, but you still watch it sometimes, just to see how things go. So, it'll look a little different in the end, but, Does everybody want to give me something that happened to them this week that was good? Something happy. Can be trivial, can be tiny, can be a food you ate that made you happy. I started making sweet potato noodles. I'm a big fan of zoodles, zucchini noodles, so I thought I'd try a sweet potato instead, and that worked well. I was pretty happy about it. It's pretty tasty. Hearty. Very hearty. See how many bubbles you get just from, like, swishing it? Think if you were shaking it. That's too many bubbles. Then you can't get to your ink. So you gotta swish, tip, and twirl. From Florida. Well, that's great. Welcome, Auntie. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Sketch. Yeah, I've got it green screened. I decided to do some green screening. Lucian, thank you for the sub. I appreciate that. Speaking of, everybody's Patreon rewards went out Tuesday and Wednesday. For Curious Collector and Clover cards, there was a big chunky Patreon post that went up on Thursday? Whatever the last day of March was. I think it was Thursday. Thursday. That went up. That has a lot of info in it and a bunch of process shots, like animated GIFs. It's just a whole bunch of unposted art. Tons of Krampuses. If you like Krampus, go check that out, because I put up all the Krampuses I did. I still have to do like 2 more. I should sketch, but it would look really cheesy. I just wanted this to look better than my actual background. Hi, Beth! How are you? I put together my gallery video for the graduation exhibit at school. Oh, that's nice. Was that fun, Fabletail? It sounds like it was a lot of work. It's true, Sketch. And I had put in some like forest backgrounds and such, and it still wasn't, I don't know. Because I had to get a very certain lighting scheme in the background, so I do have a blue halo still. But since the background has a very specific type of lighting, it looks integrated because everything in the background, like this chair, has the blue lighting. So if you can match your, you know, lighting scheme to that, it almost looks like it should be that way, but you know. And then you end up doing like an overlay on top of both your green screen self and the backdrop, so it actually like seams them together if they have the same color. It's a lot like a digital painting. That's really how I treated it. So, never done a video before, but learned some Adobe Premiere Pro basics. That's good. Well, I'm well, Beth. Thank you for asking. It looks super cute. Thank you, Kat. And I mean, I can change it every week too. So, I don't know. It seems more fun to me than just my curtain background. Which I like, you know. But if anybody has this hair color, you know, you will not want to get a green screen. You will want to get a blue screen because this has tons of green in it. Okay, so you want something that's more blue because it'll clash more with your hair, which is good. You want whatever's behind you to not have any color of what you've got. So you can't really use a pink one, you can't really use a yellow one, but if you've got this hair, definitely don't use a green screen. You have to use a blue screen. So I had VFX in college, so that's something I take away from it. Thank you, I asked. I'm glad you're well. I'm well. Hi, Box. Yeah, see? There you go, Sketch. Lucky Gabe. Gabe can basically use any color he wants because his hair is black and it's not like blue tone black hair, it's like brown tone. And even if he used like pink or yellow, it'd still be okay. So he can basically use any color for a backdrop that he wants. Hi, Evie. Is anybody else working on art today with me? Let's work on art together. All right, I'm gonna get this out so I can look. I think I'm gonna do this color in the far back, but really, really light. I'll show you my my lighting scheme here. Well, you could dye your hair, yeah, but this is actually a blue screen and not a green screen. So you can buy blue screens instead, which is, you know, this is honestly, okay, actually, don't buy any sort of those screens. I do have a cable that runs from there to there on my wall and I hang things on it. And this will all be in that one post I promised my patrons. But, really quick, the best type of curtains to get if you want to be frugal yet effective are the ones with grommets. So if you've ever seen these, there are curtains that look like this that have these pretty big ring grommets. They're like this big and they're like this, right? But instead of using those, because those are going to cause a ripple effect, you turn them upside down and they become weights, right? And then this part of the curtain is hemmed. So this is actually the part you string through a cable, right? These act as really heavy weights because they are pretty heavy. And if you wanted to anchor them to the floor, you could do that too. So I've got a blue drape right now. It's actually just a drape. They're like $10. And it's so much better than just buying a green screen or a blue screen because it has these extra things like the hemming and then grommets. The grommets, you need a weight at the bottom if you don't have anything holding it down. So for this, for me, it's perfect. Absolutely perfect. Sneaky and smart. I like to be smart. I'm proud of my little hacks that I figure out. And if I ever get an idea from somebody else, I swear I will usually credit them because I believe in credit hardcore. But anyway, this is kind of the lighting scheme I'm going for this. But we're going to try to do it with Inkwash, which has the ability for a lot of things to go wrong. So we're going to do that. We are sneaky, aren't we? I consider myself more of a crass elf, though. I'm not your typical high wood elf. There's a sword here she buried. So there's loose story, nothing crazy. I really just wanted something. Yeah, frugal options, right? So I will put up pictures of all that, what it looks like set up, things like that. The only part of this that isn't very sustainable, I think, unless you have a dedicated space or room, is the fact that there is a cable that is anchored to two walls with hooks. So if you like have your computer in like a living room or something, it probably isn't as good of an option, but you could always get one of those pull-up banners and then just paint that, and then that's there anytime. We used to do that when we first started. We had pull-up banners, so definitely an option. I got a shirt for my kitty, and he doesn't mind wearing it. That is a very good thing that happened to you. Also, please put pictures of your kitty in the Discord wearing said shirt. That would be amazing. Oh, Sketch. I love plump birds, though. Yeah, I figured it'd be kind of a nice mood. So, you know me, I don't really do humans very often, and honestly, this is not supposed to be any sort of self-portrait or anything, but I just realized it's kind of similar to myself. So, this will have a few different things. Like, for this very far back bit, this is going to be our first layer of wash. This is what we first put down, then we have to go a little bit darker, then darker, and then this foreground is going to basically be one, like, swoop of going through and trying to make it as uniform as possible, which is going to have its own problems. But each of these layers has to kind of be done in one swoop, or else it's just going to stick. So, high stakes here. High stakes. It's going to be a little bit rough. But whenever I do this, I usually take away all the line art, or all the shading, all that, and then I make it white behind it. I put it over to my computer, and I print it out on white paper. So that's where we're at here. Oh, you just posted the photos? Yes. That is weird. Discard. My studio desk has the guest bed behind it. There's only about an inch between the chair and the edge, so I had to be creative for work meetings. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, you could, yeah. You could just hang something from the ceiling, too, if you wanted. That's another option. Oh, I have to go see this kitty now. Kitty, kitty. Kitty meow meow. Oh my gosh, she's going to work. That is a polo shirt. It's got 2 buttons and they are struggling. Oh my gosh, Emma. What's your kitty's name? What's their name? Oh. Alright. I want to keep talking, but I gotta do this. Okay, so I'm gonna brush this off because sometimes I get dust on things because I'm a goblin. It's so cute. Luca! Oh, I love Luca. Okay, not that one, but this one. So I'm going to be using the same inks I used last time, which was Burnt Umber, Sepia, and Flesh Tint. Flesh Tint should not be called Flesh Tint. We also had this discussion last time because it's peach. It's very much my flesh tint, which is not everyone else's flesh tint. So all those things should be renamed. I don't understand why anybody at any point would have thought that was a good idea. Anyway, I'm going to go over the whole thing and do a wash here. And it's going to lighten the lines, which I'm fine with. Because this was, what's the word? It was like an inkjet printer, so this is actually ink on ink, you know. Also, last week's original is still available if anybody did want that. It is still available. As well as that bunny one. Okay, let me get this kind of a little bit more. Yeah, that'll be good. The only thing that's a little bit too bad about the fact I had to tape this to my desk is because I can't tilt it to get certain effects that I would have wanted. Which when you have like watercolor and ink wash, you can tilt things to get certain looks. And of course, I always somehow get hair and dust in these things. I'll have to fix that later. I'm gonna put in some variations here, some more darker things that'll disperse a bit. And then we're gonna give this a little bit to dry so it can kind of figure out its its destiny, I guess. But I want some texture in this one because there's trees, she's surrounded by all this foliage. So I'm gonna start off making sure there's some sort of gradient there and some sort of texture. Oh god. I have to make sure I gotta stop doing that. I accidentally started and stopped the stream earlier by my elbow touching the space bar. It literally stopped the stream right after I'd started it, and I was like, oh god. So you might have gotten alerted twice if you've got your notifications on. Sorry. So I'm gonna blot the outside a bit. There we go. Just so there's more of a gradient, I suppose. I'm gonna blot out the really dark parts. Yeah, so today's is actually on an 8x10. I drew it at 5x7, but then I put it up to 8x10 because I wanted the piece to have more space around it. So if you ever do that, you can always draw things digitally small and then blow them up and print them out on bigger paper if you want, just to make sure you use all that space. It's pretty nice, honestly. Hold on. Let's see if I can get rid of this part. It's weird pulling. You kind of have to chaperone while it's drawing. Make sure it's not doing anything wrong. In November. Oh, Emma, he's so sweet. Really, I asked? Oh, I'm so glad. I bet you've been waiting for those for a while, haven't you? Not your flesh tint. Are you tan, Cat? I bet you tan really easily, don't you? I haven't been tan since I was probably 6 years old. Not been tan at all. Oh, see? There's my hair. Every time I wash my hair that day for the rest of the day, it shows up in my food, shows up in my art, shows up in my clothes. My hair is everywhere. So this is most likely gonna get my hair put into it somehow. Also, this is way too light. Sorry, I'm drinking coffee. Let me see if I can change this to be a little bit closer to what it is right now. No, that's too dark. Kind of. You might hear my tummy grumbling. It's in a grumble mood. Rest assured, though, it is not unhappy. It is just grumbly. Grumbled. Okay. Pale yellowish to bright pink, back to pale yellowish again. The sun is nice for a few minutes and then umbrella time. Oh man, I hear you. Today we woke up to about an inch of snow, and then now it's about 40 degrees out and the snow is melting and it's raining. So I guess I'm happy for that weather while I'm streaming because I'm locked in this dark room. It is pretty dark, but I don't understand. It's going to be 40s for the next week and dreary and stuff. And we had like a stint of maybe 4 days in March where it was just 60 and pretty and sunny and warm. It was nice. I am using Arches, yes. Arches hot press, which is nice to print on. It's nice to paint on. I love it. It's a good paper. My husband is a fan of cold press. And hold on. He enjoys the texture that gives, and he doesn't do a lot of the post-production work on his pieces that I do, so it's fine for him to use. However, if you're somebody who likes a lot of after pencil work or a lot of dry media on your paintings, then you'll want hot press because it's smooth, and then all these particles from all the things you use don't rest in those crevices of the cold press, because that can really throw off your painting for one thing. The other thing is you can't get rid of them. Even if you go over it with an eraser, then they cozy in these nooks, and then you're erasing on top of it and it's just going over that little valley, so you can't even get it out. So if you're somebody that likes dry media on your paintings, you might want to consider hot press. I only been burned once. That's 4 degrees. Wow. So the rest of your life you've just been a tan lady. Olive skin. Oh, beautiful cat. I love all the shades of skin. I think there's so many cool colors of skin. Hi, Dennis. How you doing? For those that get the Digital Guardians, Botch podcast here is the voice actor that does the readings. I am so thankful for him. I like smooth Irons paper. I mainly use cold press, but haven't really used pencils on top. Yeah, so if you use pencils or pastels like I do, or honestly anything that's not painting, you'll want to do hot press. I mean, unless you really like that it can come out kind of unpredictable and you like the little divots and everything, go for it. We're waiting until this is dry again. There's a little part here that got dirty. I'll have to fix that later. I just ate a bunch of garbage and then worked out for 30 minutes, so I want to die. Why would you do that, Dennis? Reverse some at least. God, you're lucky you didn't throw up. Speaking of eating garbage, yesterday I had a bite of one of Gabe's sandwiches, and my body just wanted to destroy itself. All of a sudden, like, it had egg in it and gluten, which, for those of you who've been around, I hate this. It's so dumb. I have never had food allergies or sensitivities in my life, and all of a sudden I do. But, like, the egg white just broke out everywhere. Like, within an hour, my face was just covered in acne, and my stomach was just huge, and everything just... one bite. It's ridiculous. I mean, I'm very lucky I don't have, like, the anaphylactic, whatever reaction, because then I couldn't breathe, but I still get a reaction. It sucks, because it sticks around. I look like I'm pregnant for, like, 3 days. It's uncomfortable. Alright, I'm still waiting for this to dry up a bit. We did our initial wash. You know, I bet I could just start going in then. I'm gonna leave this open because my short-term memory lately is just bullshit. Just total bull. So, so I can look at it. Because this was the lighting setup. Shoot. That I've got for it. Right there. So I'm gonna have this over here just so I can reference it. If you ever do this too, you make like thumbnails or what have you, you know, there's nothing wrong with referencing your own stuff. Don't forget that. Okay. Oh, this workspace is getting funny. Oh yeah, cold press scanning, that's a really good point, Beth. Cold press, you basically have to always photograph because scanners send light up into it. As it scans, it sends light into the piece, and that's going to throw off any lighting that you've kind of already pre-decided on it, and all those little divots and stuff won't read. So anything you've kind of planned to use the texture for in cold press paper, the scanner's just going to basically wipe it out. So Gabe and I at one point bought good quality digital cameras and a photo booth, and we take pictures of any of his cold press stuff that way. Because yeah, good point, Beth. The scanner lights just destroy it. Yeah. Yeah, you gotta photograph a lot of artwork. Same for any sort of shiny paint. Like if you're gonna scan acrylic, or I think even some oil, an acrylic gouache, anything that's got the shininess on the paint, that's going to be a pain to scan too, because that's going to reflect a lot of the light coming off the scanner light. Because when a scanner scans, there's a light that goes across with the camera as it's scanning, and it's going to throw light up into it. So honestly, it's not a bad idea to eventually invest in a camera. You can also stream with that camera too, so double good, I guess. Get out a couple brushes. Some of these I've never used. I gotta find the right time. That looks good. Oh my god, before I forget, if anybody has HBO, I task you with watching Our Flag Means Death. Gabe and I finished the first season last week, and it is the most delightful, cute, precious, wholesome, sweet show I've seen in a very long time. It's very inclusive. It's got good representation. It's funny. It's sweet. Parts are dirty, other parts are pure. It's a really good mix of everything. I really enjoyed it, and I highly suggest anybody who can watch it. It's Taika Waititi, so if you're a fan of him, you'll love it anyway. It's so good. Oh yeah, you can make prints of any photos. One time, Gabe was being a little bit facetious, and he took a picture of his paint pan and like his paint tin that he had been mixing paint on for months, and it was really pretty. I mean, and then he made a print of it. You can make prints from photos as long as they're the right kind of DPI. As long as you set your camera basically on a high setting, like high res, and it's like 300 DPI, you're fine. You can make prints out of anything. Honestly, as long as you're not going over the size of the thing, you can make them, like I said, from anything. 150 DPI is kind of the cutoff for anything that's printed. But otherwise, yeah, of course you can make prints out of photos. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah. Yeah, sketch. Actual LGBTQ plus, like, wonderfully done, beautiful moments, nothing tongue-in-cheek or trying to be, blatant about it. feels natural. It's very sweet, and I just think it's a wonderful show. Right, Dennis? It's great. It is a really good show. And it deserves a lot more love. Because, I mean, if it doesn't get enough love, they won't do a season 2. And for those of us who have seen it, we want a season 2. It's so good. It's so sweet. Alright. And if anybody watches it, tell me what you think. Because I ship all the characters. All the characters are wonderful. The name of the show is Our Flag Means Death. It's great. It is so great. Alright, so now I'm going to do this other layer of background. To do that, I need a brush that's maybe... Yeah, that's not good enough. I need a bigger flat one. Hold on. Hi, Ash boy. How you doing? Got really sweet, pure, beautiful moments. Like Gabe and I would laugh 1 second and just be like, oh, the next second. It's so sweet. It's so innocent. It's cute. I don't know. You're welcome. Okay. This ink though. I'm going to start mixing it with the other color I'm going to use. Remember, swish, twirl, and tip, but do not shake your ink. Oh, I know I'm going to just drop a daub of it on the painting itself at some point. I know it. I know me. I know I'll do that. It'll be an accident. It'll be funny, but it'll happen. I know it. That's about the right color I want. But I need a bit more of it. Well, I'm glad to hear you're doing well, Ash boy. Ash boy. So these are going to be the trees that are kind of encasing her on the top. You gotta work fast with ink because it dries quicker than watercolor. And I want to blot it because I want it to fade out the sides. I want parts of it to see through the trees. So I'm going to texturize it a bit. I want some leaves to be visible, others not so much. Lasagna and garlic bread plus a salad. Oh my god. You're killing me. That sounds amazing. I love it. And what's nice about ink is you can kind of drag it to areas while it's still wet. And that way I can get all these dots of like little leaves that are offshoots that are kind of fading in the background. So you can kind of see that. It's gonna take me a while, but that's okay. I think I want You know, I'm gonna skip around a little bit here because I can. Now, I've never done an inkwash kind of this way, so your guess is as good as mine here. I'm gonna just play and try some things. So I like the effects I'm getting. This little brush here. Get out of here, man. Alright. Let's let that dry. Oh, EBU stream today? If you ever stream and you want to announce it in the Discord, there's a spot for other stream announcements too. In case you want to let anybody else in our Discord know. Speaking of Discord, for those of you who signed up, our secret artist, which is basically Secret Santa, but it's during the non-Christmas times, that should be waiting for you in your DMs. Glitterholic sent out everybody's secret artist, so you've got someone waiting in your inbox. You can also use your nails sometimes too. I always forget that I can do that. When I have nails, at least. I don't always have nails. Did anybody go see Morbius? I am hearing that it is getting horrible reviews. Absolutely awful reviews. I'm curious what other people think. And the next part here, I'm going to do the trees in the background, I think. Oh, I'm so tempted to jump to the end here, but I know I can't. Do you all want it zoomed in more, or do you like it kind of farther out? One brush that's in between these two. I need to find that. Not yet. Oh! Ask and ye shall receive. Looks like I found it. Is anybody else doing art? Tell me about the art you're doing. That was Gabe sneeze honking. If anybody heard that. He's starting to do that old man thing where he blows his nose and he honks. It's like over time men just turn into geese. Still a little wet. that, I could go for it. The next part I'll probably drench it again. Oh shoot, this wasn't supposed to be painted. I did it backwards. Yeah, that was okay. That one's okay. This was supposed to be what was painted. That's okay though. I got lucky because this whole area is going to be really dark. So, that's okay. I can just fix it like this. It's not going to matter later. No big deal. I can just kind of rub it out as much as I can. Just because I'm going to go over it later with really dark ink, so it's okay. Not a big deal. The pluses and the minuses of working with ink. Cat's doing some stuff, some sketches. Try out Inkwash stuff. Good, yeah, try it out. Writing music for my friend. Cool. Working on final designs for concept art class. Good job, Fabletail. What kind of concepts? Oh, sorry. I just realized I never answered you on Discord, Clover. So sorry. Don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. Don't ever be sorry. It is a-okay. Hi, Rix. How you doing? Oh, good, Isabel. The adventures never cease. High voltage Jay. I like that. Well, let's try to get some of this other crap in the background now. Jane, thank you for the raid. How are you? How was your stream? Thank you so much. I know I'm gonna get people coming in at some point. Is this a self-portrait? I'm gonna be like, no, I'm just dumb and forgot that I have long hair and long ears. It's an aesthetic, okay? Oh, good. Hi, Ravenclaw. Just for fun, Isabel, typically my my Saturday streams are used for just me. They're kind of things I've either wanted to do or just feel like doing. It's my time to relax where I'm not doing other work. It's like the one time a week I've actually scheduled for myself to relax. So a lot of the time when you do see me on stream, it will be for that reason. If I am working on Patreon or something, I will typically say I am. Like, these are for my devoted Dandikin patrons or, you know, something else. But nope, today it's just, I plan to sell it. So if anybody likes it, you can have it. It is a bit bigger. It's a 8 by 10. Kind of fade these out a bit so it looks like there's sun kind of coming around the trees. It's a nice little effect, right? Let's put some more trees. I'll show you in a second what my mock-up, my light mock-up looks like. But I felt like doing something bigger today, but also something human. So this one's gonna have a lot of different layers. Am I cosplaying Link? No, this is my Cloverkin character. This character here. So I have an elf character that I do as like use it as my kind of avatar for a lot of things. I mean, it's the Cloverkin character, like her name is Cloverkin. So it's weird because it's like it's me, but it's not me, and I always feel weird talking about her because she is me, but it's also like she's not me. So it's confusing. For me especially. Because I'm not sure how I want to view her. So, anyway. Oh, you were teasing. Hey, you would be surprised. I do get people coming in and be like, hey, are you cosplaying Zelda? And I'll be like, no. No, I'm not. So, sorry if I took that like you were serious, because a lot of people do mean it seriously. So, sorry about that. There we go. This one is a little bit long. And the paper's still a little wet, so it's good and bad. It's letting me work with the ink a bit more, which I need, but it's also not good. Oh, this whole part's supposed to be dark too. Hold on. That's why this was confusing me. That line should not be there. But like I said, don't worry. This will all be in dark anyway. How much will I sell it for? Since it is so big, it's probably going to be over 200. So, I mean, watercolor and ink originals are going to be kind of, you know, expensive unless they're under like 5x7. Things around 5x7 are typically like 100, something like that in there. I try to get at least 20 bucks an hour for a lot of the things I do. It's a good minimum wage as a freelance artist, put it that way. But this is an Inkwash, and sometimes I just like working with ink better because it dries quicker and anything like that. Jane, what did you do on your stream today? If you want to share your art, if you're an artist or what have you, go for it. Share your social links. We're very share friendly in this community. So if anybody has something they want to show off that they're proud of from the past week or something, feel free to show it. Yes, this is ink. But I usually do watercolors on my stream, but yeah, this is FW ink. 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 I don't even know if I'll use this one today. I used it last week. Last week we did an Inkwash too. But typically it's either watercolor or markers on my stream. But I figured since it's been a long time since I did ink, we'd do some ink. Hi, Tad. How are you? Oh, you were doing a large oil commission. Wow. Oh, no, you weren't poking the bear box. Don't worry. Don't worry. Oh, that's cool, Fabletail. 4 varieties. That's cool. That must have been fun. Yeah, Isabel, show the owl. Oh, that's very sweet, Tad. Thank you for dropping in. Everyone, go look at Tad's stuff. Tad is one of my favorite artists. Every time he comes in is a day for the history. It's great. I love it. I love seeing Tad. Tad, do you want to drop your Instagram in there too? Oh. Do you have a in progress shot of what you worked on today, Jane? Your oil work's amazing. Wow. You got some good control. Oh, but you're learning so much. Yeah, I hear ya. Oh, NDA. Cursed NDAs. They give you money, but they don't give you anything else. Oh, I was gonna show. This is my lighting mock-up. So I'm kind of doing some things backwards, but this is kind of the rough how I want it to look. So that's why I'm not stressing that I went into the art, or into the hair, into the art, because all this is just going to be dark anyway. So if it's like that, it's totally fine. As you can see, it's just going to be dark. So I wanted this to be a moodier piece, and that is what it's going to be. Gotta love the moodiness. But I do have to wait for parts of it to dry, just so they don't bleed. And this is taking a minute. If it wasn't so cold in here, I would totally have a fan going on it. Usually when Gabe and I do streams with watercolors and whatnot, we have a fan nearby so we can actually control how it's doing. Also, Tad, I'm proud of you for not being on social media for months, and very jealous. I've been trying so hard to not be on social media, like, lately. I've been doing a good job, but then it's like I go back to, like, TikTok or Instagram, and I just have a million videos from friends to watch, and it's very sweet, but at the same time, I am overwhelmed with it. Like, on TikTok, I have 30 messages waiting from like 4 different people, and I just, if one of those is you in the chat, I am so sorry. I have not had the energy to go through all the videos to watch, and they're all just fun videos. I like it, but I get sent so many that it feels like work at this point almost, you know. I love it, but it's a lot. It is nice that it's still at the point I can kind of move it around, pick it up if I need. So I think I would like to pick these up a bit. Have the sun coming through the trees, that whole thing. Yeah, isn't Tad amazing? Love Tad's work. His shape work on his characters is something to be envied for a million years. Tad, did you ever keep your comic? I know you kind of were planning on going back to that, but did you? Yeah, his lines are amazing, for real. It sucks though, Kat. I'd love to use a hairdryer, but to do it on stream, you have to mute the mic, and I feel so bad. We used to have images for it, like one of them when I'm scanning. When I used to scan my stuff in between, I'd have that. And we used to have like blow drying and things like that. Not anymore. Oh, Tad, no. Relieved a lot of stress from your life. I don't feel like I'm in constant contest with people and views. That is the best feeling ever. I got to feel that. Like, when we moved, I wasn't able to go on the internet at all for like a week and a half. At all. Like, it was amazing. Honestly, if I could get to the point where, like, my Patreon kind of drives itself, and I don't have to do much marketing, oh my god, I will not be on social media at all. I will stream, and I will do my Patreon work, and I will do my personal projects, and that's all I want to do. And I want to get to that point so hard. Oh, that's cute. Is that from Hello Alice, that streamer you follow, Kat? Oh, did you, Tad? Oh, wow. Can you say who with, or is that kind of secret too? I totally get it if it is. No problem. Seriously. I think I can start going darker now, because this will be pretty good for the background. Steamroller Studios. Oh, what have they done? Share. I'm sorry it's not ringing a bell. Is it games or is it movies or cartoons? Oh yeah, I could totally see that being a handy emote. Variety streamer, nice. I plan on being one eventually. Once I can, once I have time to play games again, I'm gonna be having like a day a week where it's just like, here's a chill game stream, and we'll just game together. I know I'm drinking Starbucks. Please don't judge me. It's gone now. That was the last sip. No more. Now I've got my water. Alright. Still a little wet. That's okay. Now I'm going to move over to the darker, less saturated ink I've got. Which I'm going to swirl it, twirl it, tip it, and don't shake it. Tip, twirl, and swirl. No, tip, twirl, what was it? Tip, swirl, or twirl, and turn. That's what it is. I made up this thing a long time ago, and now I can't think of the third word, but it was turn. Tip, twirl, and turn. Tip, twirl, turn. Cursive deadwood and that other thing. Oh, cool, Tad. Oh, I'm so excited to see what you do. You promised to put up when you're able to put something up and show us. I'm excited for you. That's wonderful. I love it when my friends do well. That's so nice. A creature that steals your coffee every time I make a cup. I assume that is your significant love. Air bubbles, and yeah, it's just too volatile for the ink itself. The air bubbles make it so it's not integrated as much too. So, you know, like, I think maybe it's not like oil and water, because I think you have to shake those, but hard to say. I can't remember exactly. I just know it's not recommended. Oh, that's still wet. Maybe I can do down here though. I still want to use the flat one. I don't know actually. Yeah, it's something about the fact that shaking it is just too much. Let's go down here. Sometimes I catch myself using inks like watercolors and I have to stop to go back. Otherwise I'm gonna get some pretty wicked lines. This is the actual spot. So now that I made those two other mistakes, we know where we actually want it to go. Yes, Dennis, I am. I will be at Dragon Con. Because they will not roll over my table again. So yeah, I will be there. That's more the effect I wanted. I think I could maybe save it over here still. I put the dark spots up here. Still time for it to seep down. Sometimes you have to also move it down there. Take the pigment and move it across. Handmade Hill, hi! Welcome to the stream. Thank you for the follow. How are you doing? How was your Saturday? The fun part about ever drawing or painting foliage is that you can just kind of do whatever since it's organic. Because that stuff does what it wants anyway, you know? Couple darker spots. I want to kind of maintain this natural border a bit. So dabbing and erasing the sides is kind of a thing. I can also take paint later and kind of do it that way. So I might do that. Because now it's starting to dry. It's not as easy to lift. Not like watercolors. There's an absolute mental shift you have to do between ink and watercolor. It's fun, but it is one of those things you gotta think about. Oh wait, no, I want to keep that light. Yeah. Oh, that's so cool, Kat. That must be a really fun feeling. Oh yeah, Oh my god. I can't tell you how much I feel like sometimes when, Tad, you can relate to this, when we do concept work and it's really energetic and really fun and everything, and then the client comes in and they're like, yeah, but can you make it more like this, or can you change this to be more like that, and then it really kills the design and the character just ends up so much more vanilla and drab and not as interesting. I don't know. Like, in my past, the experience I've had, it sucks when somebody who knows less than you about certain things critiques what you're doing because they're higher up than you, so they have the say to actually change it, but they don't know what they're doing. It is the worst feeling. That is why I don't like working for certain companies anymore. The ones that I do end up working for usually are pretty good about that. They typically know, you know, where the line is, or not to talk about stuff they don't know what they're talking about. You know what I mean? Like, they know, and that is something so rare when it comes to clients. Yeah, right, Dad? Yeah, it's true, Isabel. It's maddening. It's absolutely maddening. So, a trick that we always used to do is that you want to make sure that the designs you give the client, that you are okay with all of them. In some respect, you have to be okay with all of them to get some sort of happiness out of it. Otherwise, if you draw one, you're like, I don't like it, but maybe they will. No, because that's the one that they're going to pick. So make sure you're at least okay with everything you've kind of provided. Thank you for the follow. Welcome. How you doing? Oh, that's smart, Tad. No, taking your time is super important. Rushing into things typically just destroys them, so definitely take your time. Oh, that turned out juicy. See, now I got in my little zone. Took me till now to get into the zone. But now I know what I'm doing. Sometimes that's just how it happens. But this is the effect I wanted. Not so bad. Ah, nice. I love it. Yeah, it's almost like you have to prove it, Dad. It's like, here's why this is the best design. So don't pick the other ones. Totally. I'm glad you got your alien chair design. And whatever, I think that's fun. Doing prop design is surprisingly fun. Dude, I will sometimes just draw like 20 buckets. Because just buckets, you know what I mean? Like satchels, buckets, accessories. I love prop design. That was one of my favorite things doing games, was that sort of stuff. That and obviously character design, but locations, depends. But there's a lot of fun stuff you can do. Like, I love the variety with those sorts of things. I'm gonna dip down low on this one. Since the light is behind majority of this, I don't have to have too much peeking through because it wouldn't really happen. But I can have a few that come into this field of view, which is nice. A couple like branches that would dip back against their bows. Jesus. And then, you know, while the paper's still wet, dot in a few more places for the really bunched up areas. And then when that dries, I can do another pass of dark. It's nice kind of having an idea how it's going to turn out, but also not knowing at all. There's some nice parts of that. Sorry, I will get back to the chat in one sec. This is very addicting. There we go. That looks a bit more dimensional previously. Yeah, set design is nuts. 3-point perspective. So cool though. It's so cool. Like once you get in the zone of like 3-point perspective, it's so easy to dip back out. It's like you're on a tightrope. You're like, oh man, I'm doing real good today, and then the next day your mind is just sludge, and you're like, I can't do it today. Like, It's like you have to do nothing but that for a while to stay there. Yes, cat. Props. I don't want to hurt this edge at all, but I did want to get one more tree bough in here. This is a nice relaxing piece. I really needed this. Thank you, Beth. Yeah, they're coming out all right, huh? Pretty happy about that. Also, it's not too early to start thinking about Journey June. we'll start having some workshops in May for your hero creator. But if anybody wants to start thinking about their main character now, it's never too early. Honestly, if you've done Journey June before and you want to do it again the next year, I would say make your story at some other point in the year and then post it during Journey June. Were it me, that's what I would do. The only thing that's a little bit tricky is when you have to go back over and add something to an area that's supposed to be, you know, lighter and whatnot. It's hard with ink because it acts like a multiply layer. So if it's lighter than where you're, you know, where you are, it's gonna be tough to retrofit that in because everything around it or whatever you know, put back there is going to darken, so you have to like darken that whole area for it to look right, or else it's just gonna kind of look a little strange. Hopefully that makes sense. Like if I just drew a branch going like I did there, but like one going this way, it would go over all these other areas and all those would darken as well as the tree itself, so I would need to darken all those areas again for it to look correct. Getting to a lot of tangents though. That's my problem right now. Set the one back a bit more. And it was nice, this one I didn't have to use masking fluid at all. This one I just tinted the page a bit before I started. Tad, there's nothing wrong with scanners and being old. Just because you scan doesn't mean you're old, you silly. If that means we're old, then I'm screwed. Because I still scan stuff. Let me make sure this is what I want to use. I don't think I want to use this one. No, I don't think so. I don't think it's a sign of being old. I don't know what kind of brush I want to use right now. I need my favorite brush. I don't know where that is though. I am sad. This one should be okay, but is this my favorite? I think it is. I haven't seen my favorite in a while. Maybe it's in my old palette. What? Oh, whatever, Tad. Nah, we're not old. It's still a viable piece of technology. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Scanners are fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Alright, I'm going in here with the dark now. Though it sucks because it has to go from kind of... Oh, maybe this one would be good. It's true. However, if I'm just doing in progress shots, so all of the in progress stuff on Patreon that I put up, those are just camera shots. Like the only time I scan things is if I want to save the line art and I want a good high-res version of it, or if it's the final version. For a lot of in progress shots now, when I do like the flats or even the pencils, if I don't really care to get a good shot of them, I just take a picture with the camera, make sure the lighting's even and, you know, you're level with the actual piece, take a pic of it, and that's my in progress shot. Because scanning just, for me, it took too long for things that are too fleeting. So I only use it a lot of the time for, you know, things that are, you know, finalized and whatnot. Yeah, you don't need a scanner for that, in my opinion. Do I have a black? Oh my god, hold on. I shouldn't have done that. Oh, the water's all the ink. Ugh. I'm gonna get black ink, because I need it at this point. Hello, black ink. I'm not going straight to black ink, but I'm gonna use it. Lunch break. Hopefully this black is still good. I haven't used this in a while too. Should be. I don't know why it wouldn't be. Okay. Do a test of it to make sure it's still good. Wow, yeah, that is black ink, for real. Alright, here we go. Just do it, just go for it. Catching it right before it dries. Don't want that line. You just gotta go. While it's wet, keep going. That's why you gotta have your ink laid out ahead of time too, or else it's just gonna... Should use a bigger brush and more ink, but this is where we're at. Need more sepia. I'm gonna get a line. There we go. Hopefully we'll get a nice gradient going on. And I still have my line art up, so even if my lines disappear, I know where things are. drag it down, drag it through. What's nice is I could dapple it too if I wanted to show how the sunlight's coming through the trees onto her, but I kind of wanted her in a little bit of complete darkness, kind of behind some bushes, bearing this sword. Look what I forgot. I did it again. Twice. God. This is what I'm talking about. This right here. So this is going to get about 2 shades darker, so it's okay that I missed this spot. Told you I wasn't in the zone today, so when you're not in the zone, you're going to make mistakes like this guy right there. Oh yeah, it really is. Fickle mistress. The ink. But like I said, since I'm doing 2 more shades darker, it's okay. It's just fun. It's a challenge for me. So like if it starts drying and stuff, I'm like, oh man, you know, blah blah blah. I don't know. I think it's fun. I like challenges. They don't always come out well, and that's okay. Because as long as you walk away learning something, it's cool. And like my line art is digital, so I can always, you know, if I'm not pleased with the outcome, I could always do it again. But I don't know, I'm still okay with this. And then I'm going to do dark here on the bottom too. Just remember, this is how it's supposed to look. So we're getting there. I also, like I said, I did a version on my usual tone paper too, in case I want to try that, but I don't know, I'm still not done with this one. Still working it out. And then go in here. Because this is all dirt anyway. So I want to make sure that this gets kind of done too. I should have wet that first, but that's okay. You're okay, Tad. I think Isabel had a question for you. And then I'll probably go in either with ink pens or my darker pencils and go back over her line work. Throw the black in here so we get that going. Gotta mix it a bit. The sword's in here. See, there's bubbles. You gotta watch out for the bubbles. Push it up and around. nice, Tad. I can't wait to see you doing the things you want to do. That's one of my happiest moments, is seeing my friends like doing the things they were planning on doing for a really long time. I'm gonna melt these a bit, and then I'm gonna separate them in a while again. With a more definite line. But for right now, I want it to kind of gel, so there's more of a soft transition. So there wouldn't be much light back here. Maybe just some peeking through here and there. For the most part, not so much. And then just gonna try bring this through. Kind of unify this a bit more. Go. Hi, Sophia. I too have a background. A cheesy background. Instead of a, curtain. How you been, Sophia? Yeah, it has been the curtain. Well, I didn't get time ever to dig into the green screen, or blue screen in this case. I can't do a green screen with my hair color, so I had to do a blue screen. My hair color has too much green in it. So if anybody else out there wants to do custom backgrounds, but you have my hair color, remember to get a blue screen and not a green screen. I mean, technically it's still a curtain. There's a curtain behind me. But, you know. You don't know that. Well, I guess you do. Go swimming too much? I don't understand. Oh, no, it's just the color of my hair. I don't need chlorine to do that. If I did go swimming and if I got chlorine in it would be so much worse. Like, this is just, it's naturally got the green tint to it. It's a very specific type of blonde called dishwater blonde or dirty blonde. And it is drab and full of green. Alright, I need to stop messing with this and let it be for a little bit. I gotta get rid of that little dot. And this little dot. There we go. I just have to let it dry. Screwing with it might screw with it too much. Yeah, I remember in high school when we had the swimming, what is it called? Swimming course? Swimming unit. I think it was the swimming unit. Yeah, my hair went pretty green from the chlorine, but you know what? That's okay. Oh, and earlier we were talking about Our Flag Means Death. If you have not seen that show, I highly suggest watching it. It is fantastic. It is Taika Waititi. He does amazing things, wonderful things. So if you like him and his humor, you will love that show. It is a good show. It's on HBO. It's wonderful. It's so precious and wholesome and sweet. It's great. All the characters are wonderful. I love it. Hi, Soggy. How are you? Just gotta leave it alone, except for the parts that I can kind of mess with. I'll mess with these a little so that these edges, you gotta kind of, I guess, guide it sometimes. Like you're like, oh, you're drawing pretty well, but it'd be great if you could go over here a little bit more. Oh, cool. Okay, that's a good spot. Thank you. Cooperation, you know. And then you can always dab too. More texture, more texture. I do need to get up in here though. Change some of that. Put some more detail in these bushes while I wait for the bottom to dry. The show is Our Flag Means Death. Pizza. So yum. Hello, Alice. Here is the actual piece. My line work has started to disappear, but yeah, she is an elf and she buried a sword. I'm going super basic on this one. I wanted more of just a mood piece, so that's where we're at. So once I get in all these, you know, blockings of color, I can go back. I did forget, however, to put in little leaves falling. As with all the pieces I do on Saturdays, this one is also up for grabs if anybody is really jonesing for it. Just let me know. Last week's painting is also still up on my site if anybody wanted that. It is there for you, just in case. It's funny how obnoxiously long some of these paintbrushes are. Like this does not need to be this long. I don't know why it is. I mean, some people paint like this, and it's fun to paint like this. You have more control over certain areas, but actually, if you want to see something trippy, watch people who paint with long paintbrushes. It's nuts. Like legitimately, they paint from far away. And they have long paintbrushes. But for people like me, I don't know why I got this. I'm sure I could find something that wasn't so obnoxiously long that does the same thing. Maybe this is all I had at the time. I don't know. This is a very old brush. I don't even know where I got this. I know, Alice. I'm going to try to draw more. Sometimes I just get I get cravings, you know, just like food. I could see that, Jane, yeah. And this is 8 by 10. This is usually as big as I go for paintings, but I go up to 11 by 14 with markers and other ones. Thank you, Jane. It's got a lot of things that need some help, but refining, right? We gotta refine. A soggy pizza. Well, I'm glad you got it back safe. Your ceiling with no ladder. It's true, Soggy. It's true. Dry it. Almost dry. Yeah, it's got some issues, but this part's gonna get a lot darker. Probably one shade darker than this, and then I gotta bring it through here. And then I'll bring out the sword a bit more. That still has a ways to go. And then the top still has some I need to do here. It's funny, I'm looking at the camera. See it when it's right in front of me. That's silly. I'm just having fun dotting in leaves. Saturdays are my chill days, so on stream you get to see me do my relaxing personal paintings. I don't get to do much, so when I get my, private time or personal time to work on whatever I want, it's usually on stream every Saturday. Otherwise, I am busting ass through the week doing all my other junk gotta do. Let's see if this does much. Didn't want to go too dark on this one. And Alice, I should be ready to ship your thing part of the way through next week, I'm hoping. I've got your commission and another one that I've got to finish up. Well, thank you, Fable. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Thank you, Kat. Well, honestly, Alice, I haven't started it yet, but it shouldn't take me long once I do. Since it's only a 5 by 7, we should be good. Gabe did his. Turned out pretty fun. He liked it. That one came pretty easy for him. You know him. That stuff's in his wheelhouse, so you know. Just waiting for it to be a little bit more dry. I want the foreground to be a good deal more desaturated than the background. The background's pretty saturated compared to what I want the foreground to be. So and get some of that the hair light, the light on the hair, some of the light on the rim lighting on her clothes. And then now here's the the tricky part. I gotta try to merge her with the ground. Which this could take me a couple passes still. And then now I have to start outlining that sword so it doesn't get lost in the dirt, even though she wants it to. I know I'm off screen, sorry about that. Just doing the borders. There we go. And there's the merging. And then once this part dries, then I can go in and do some more darkening around her face to bring her face back out. Aww. I hope it brings you some peace, Tad. Thank you. A little bit better than my older streams where I used to just be yelling all the time, huh? I think you were there even in the beginning, Dad. Dad, when did we meet? You, me, and Heather, when did we meet? It wasn't at... Was it at Heroes Con, or we knew each other before then? Pretty sure. I don't even remember where it was. Alright, Beth. No worries, do the thing. It was at Heroes? Really? Weird, I thought I knew you before then. That's so strange. That was in 2017, I think. Yeah, I think I've met a few of you in person. I know Soggy. Met him in person. Alice I've met in person. Tad I've met in person. I don't know if anyone else is here. I have. Not yet, at least. I always feel bad when somebody meets me in person because it's like under convention lights, I do not look the same as I do here. And I used to look a lot better on Twitch and a lot worse in person. Now it's probably kind of merging, but I just think it's funny. I think you're right, Tad. That sounds right. Oh yeah, Dennis. I met Dennis too. Oh, that's good, Dennis. How's the Kickstarter doing? Like, making progress, I mean. No, Kat, you'd be surprised. It's the lighting. It is the lighting. It's crazy. I'm not trying to put myself down. Sorry. If it sounded like that, that's not what I was trying to do. It's legit. Like, you look different on a stream than you do in real life. It's just how it is. Oh, that's exciting, Dennis. I'm excited for you. Yeah, you guys know I don't self-deprecate. I don't do that. There's no... Gabe and I used to call it self-defecating because literally you're shitting on yourself. we don't do that. There's no reason to do that. And then it's fulfillment. I've already started thinking about second Kickstarter. That's smart, Dennis. Yeah, kind of bookend them if you can. Then you get that momentum. And now you've already been through it, so once you get them shipped, you'll have been through the whole process. You'll be fine. You'll know. It's weird seeing a shadow on this camera. That's strange. Yeah, it's hard, I guess. But, no self-defecation here. Try to avoid it. I don't want you defecating all over my stream. Let's have positive talk. And if I slip into it, just know I didn't mean it, because I really don't think that way. I honestly don't even get mad at things anymore. Like, even the things I used to really get mad at, I don't really get mad at things anymore. It's just, there's no point. Getting mad at stuff doesn't seem to really help anything. Okay, I might go in right now. This might be too early, but I'm gonna do it anyway. This part's pretty important, so I don't want to screw it up. I just want to get that outline of her face in there. I honestly think for this part, I'm going to use my water markers. So there's no reason for me to really use the paint. Yeah, so I might just use the water marker. Though at this point, I probably have to finish certain parts of this. really see my lines at this point, but it's enough. Okay, Sophia. Yep, and Gabe was his editor on that book, and I did his pins. And for those that didn't know, Dennis is the voice of my guardians, my digital ones, on Patreon. So if you hear him, hear your man talking, that's him. Oh yeah, Dennis, have you thought about putting up a pre-order link yet? For people to pre-order it? Because you have extras, right, that you ordered? Yeah, they can be, Alice, for sure. Honestly, Dennis, if you want to hit us up and tell us who you use for your website, because I know if you had Squarespace, I can show you how to set that up. Alright, I'm going to let her rest a bit. Go over to the sword. Do some work on this. Oh, honestly, you just need a landing page with a product on it, and then people can just buy it, pre-order it right there. Like, you don't need a whole bunch of stuff. You literally need one page and one product. And on Squarespace, that's like 2 clicks. I think he's got a different artist, Isabel. Dennis is a writer, so he hired someone to do the art. Dennis, do you have a link to your artist? Takes a lot of time, yeah, for real. Oh, son of a bitch. It's the wrong one. Too bright. Need to dumb it down with some darker ink. Sepia. There it is. And then we'll fade them a bit. Fade. Fade. I like fading them towards the bottom of the trunks because then it looks like they kind of disappear into the bush. It's kind of nice. I gotta be honest, as much as I love snow, I'm really sad that it snowed. I did not want more snow. I honestly want spring. He was making some good strides, man. Solid strides. And then, poof. It's gone again. Spring is an elusive concept in the Midwest. We know it exists. We rarely see it. Thinking about putting a tree back here, but I kind of like that light that's coming through. It's giving her that glow. I think I might bring some of this gold though in here. So she's got some rim lighting. The yellow. a little good. Yeah, as an artist, Tad, I think, yeah, you'd want that control. I think I would go out of my mind if I had to hire another artist to do something that I know I could do or that I had a vision for in my head. Oh, drive me nuts. It's like, how do I find another me? And how do you, like, communicate what you need? That'd be really difficult. There, now it kind of looks like the hair is blonde but dark. It doesn't have to necessarily be blonde. I mean, it could be red, it could be a bunch of things, but since it's in the dark, it can be a bunch of different possibilities. It's monochromatic too, so it can stand for a lot of different colors, technically. There you go. And then I might actually make the sword this color too, so it stands out better. There you go. Hi, Serenity. I've had one, but this is technically a blue screen because green screen with my hair doesn't work. With my VFX background and all that, I can deduce that, yeah, I can't have a green screen. So Gabe can have any color screen, but I have to have a blue screen because my hair is made of green. So it's kind of funny like that. How you been, Serenity? You doing okay? Yeah, I think the rest of this I'm just gonna go in with other things. I'll take a kind of a picture of this, I guess. Might as well document it, right? Tired all the time? I hear you, man. Run? Did I say that right? Hi. Welcome. Elf drawn and elf on stream, huh? It is quite a bro, isn't it? Here, taking a in progress shot for my patrons. So, for those coming in now, like Serenity and Alaron, this is my proof of concept, we'll say. So those are the lines that are there, but not there, that you can't see right now. So, I think I still need to make the ground darker. I don't know how much darker I want to go though. Even so. Really? Aloe run? What do people usually say? Aloe? What is aloe run? Aloe? I'd be confused with what else you can say. Oh, okay. No problem, Serenity. No problem. Oh, really? So they go aloe? That's harder to say than aloe. Is that your name? Aloe? Aloe? Aileron? I could see people having trouble with it. Even so, it's not that bad. Aileron. Yeah, I like that. That has a really good flow, too. It's fun to say. Aileron. Aileron. I like it. How you been, Aloe? May I call you Aloe? You'll remember me. I tend to remember most people, surprisingly. I have a decent, like, long-term memory. It's my short-term that's kind of needs some help. Just a bit. Right. I think this might be the last run of the wash here, and then I'll go in with the pencil and we'll start picking away at some details. There's a lot of details I want to get in here still, but I'm going to have to carve them out now. But that is about the lighting I want. At least the trees look basically as lit as I wanted them to. Thank you, Serenity. Thank you, Aloe. Yeah, this is a little bit different than my normal stuff. Admittedly, yeah. Honestly, as much as I like this painting, I might finish it digitally. Like the digital one I've got, I really like how solid the colors are on that, so I might just do some nice ink work on that and then just solids. This one, I don't know. I don't know its fate yet. But yeah, typically my style, I don't have anything near me that's more indicative of my style. But yeah, I guess my website, my Instagram shows a good amount of what I normally do. But oh, thank you. Yeah, I like Cocoa Nap. That was a fun one. Cocoa Nap. Yeah, usually on my stream, it's the only time during the week that's like my time. So I typically do a painting that I can finish on stream, and then I put it up for sale. But it is the only time during the week I kind of get to stretch my legs. Otherwise, I'm working on a lot of freelance work and various other things that don't really allow me to stretch my legs. So... oh, I absolutely agree. Watercolor is so much fun. We have a few watercolor artists in the chat here, too. If anybody wants to throw out their stuff, feel free. Let's see how this looks. There. It's very brown. really brown. I don't know if I like that. Pick it up. Pick it up. Oh yeah, so regarding Etsy, I've also been slowly migrating off it because their fees and stuff are getting a little bit nuts. Etsy is a mixed bag. I feel like you should put things on Etsy that are mainstream popular, like that would do well with, you know, people, just regular folk, I guess. Not like specifically a certain demographic or anything. Just kind of, you know, if you do conventions and you've got bestsellers, those I would put on Etsy. Anything that's more niche or hard to move or hard to sell, I'd put on your own website. Because with Etsy, you're paying for the listing, and over time, you have to renew things. So Etsy ends up costing some stuff, and then they end up taking a chunk of it. So at some point, I'm going to take my pet portraits off of Etsy, because they are docked quite a bit fee-wise. I would say if I sold like a $300 one, Etsy would take like $50. And they don't need to be doing that. So I'd probably move them over to Squarespace. But yeah, Etsy's kind of screwing over a lot of people. So I might join the strike that's going to happen. I think it's the 11th through the 18th. And a lot of shops will go into vacation mode. So in case anybody's wondering about that, Gumroad's an okay option for, I'd say, digital stuff. If you're selling physical things, not so much. The best option overall is your own website. I would say that's the best route to go, because then you're just building up people's familiarity with your site. But the best part about Etsy is that it's got its own traffic that's, you know, constant, and, you know, people repeat and trust it. You can't really do the same sort of thing with your own website. Like, your website will need a while to get the same sort of traffic and the same sort of trust, all those sorts of things. So in the beginning, when Etsy wasn't so crazy fee-wise, it was okay because you were paying for the traffic. You were paying for the fact that people trust it and will order things off it without a second guess. However, when it comes to, you know, people's websites, you always kind of wonder, is this a legitimate website? Because there are tons of websites out there that, like, I've found at least 3 that are taking my art, saying they're selling it, and it's a fake website. Like, they'll have social media icons at the bottom. They're all fake. You know, so it sucks because nowadays it's so easy to steal and fake a website. So I feel like it's good to have both if you can, just to get more traffic if you're an up-and-coming artist. If you're well-known, you don't even need to worry about Etsy. But if you are kind of up-and-coming, or you're in this middle ground, kind of where I am, where you still struggle to get traffic to your website, it is still good to have, you know, sites like that. Because out of like Gumroad, Society 6, what's the other one? Store Envy, all those sorts of things. They're good. They're good options. Every place is going to take a cut of what you make, though, no matter what, because you're using their platform. You're using their tools and whatnot. So you're always going to be giving something. You just got to find the place where you're giving them the least, you're getting the most, and you're still balancing, like, with traffic and whatnot. So it's kind of on a person-to-person basis, really. But yeah, you make and ship everything yourself. I don't like the print sites that ship your stuff on their own. I don't like things like that, because then I can't put in my own promo stuff. Like, with every shipment, I'll put in a thank you note. I'll put in kind of a please leave a review note, a socials note, and then a Patreon note that tells, like, hey, you know, thanks for buying one of my things. Here's my Patreon. Here are all the tiers on it. a little synopsis of what each one is, not getting too crazy, so that, you know, every time I ship something out, it's got those 4 things for information. And then I also give them extra stickers. And if it's over $20, I give a free print. So I can't do those sorts of, you know, customized things if I go through a third party that prints and ships my stuff for me. So if you buy something from me, if it's not clothing, it's going through me. My clothes, I cannot do at home. So those are done by Printful, but they're good quality. But yeah. Hi, J-Mill. Long time no see. How you doing? Don't go with Redbubble. Redbubble is a site known for art theft. You're giving them money and they don't even like go through their products to make sure it's not stolen first. So you could literally Google an image, take it, throw it up on Redbubble, and make money off it. They don't have any sort of gating or anything. It's just rampant with art theft. So if you can avoid Redbubble at all costs, please do. Society 6 is kind of getting there as well. They kind of look like they're a little bit more hoity-toity than Redbubble, but it's all kind of the same thing. It sucks. I've been doing good, Jamie. I've been doing good. I'm glad you're doing okay. Gotta steal some more. Oh, aloe. Yeah, Isabel, you gotta be real careful. And you know, you don't have to be on everything either. Do some research, pick and choose just a couple, and then be there. Because if people like your work, they're gonna go to the ones that you pick. You know, you don't have to go to where everybody is. You know, and if a new thing pops up, if you want to grab your name on it, you can, you know, just so nobody can take your name or whatever, but I wouldn't stress out trying to be on a million things at once. Yeah, Kat, yeah, and I've noticed a lot of that with jewelry lately. There's a lot of like Chinese jewelry, like knockoff fake jewelry, where they're actually making it in China, but they send it to somebody in the US to ship out through Etsy. So they can say on Etsy that they ship from somewhere in the US, but it's not. It's actually Chinese made. So there's a lot of knockoffs that I've noticed. Bags too. Bags and jewelry. I was just looking recently and it's bad. You can tell too. In their descriptions, there's no capitalizing anything in their descriptions. You know, they don't have pictures anywhere. The shop owner, if you dig a little bit, you can really tell who's real and who's not. And it's sad. Yeah, fake decks. Yeah, totally. Yeah, the less social media stuff, the better. It's true, Kat. That's why it's, you know, like you had said in a previous stream, it's important to make that connection with people and artists that you know are real, because then you can support them directly on the places they want. If you're just perusing all these sites, it's a little bit more scary. Even I'm scared doing it now. Like, before I buy anything from anybody on Etsy, I go look at their other socials, see if they're grinding, you know, elsewhere. And if I can't find anything, then it's kind of scary, because, you know, that's why you want to have your name kind of across everything so people can find you easily and kind of double check that you're not, you know, fake. Isabel, I think that's a fair thing to do. The only problem is there's this in-between where, like, if I wanted to ship my shirts myself and somebody bought them, it would be a whole nother step and I'd be wasting money with shipping. So there's this point where you want to have somebody else do it for you because it is cheaper. Otherwise, if you want to do all those things I had mentioned yourself, like putting in your promo stuff, free stickers, free prints, stuff like that, you can send them to the company, but then you're paying them also monthly for a little part of their warehouse to stick your stuff. But they do have people that will go and collect that and send that with your shipment. But I don't want to pay to do that. So the only thing I've got that gets shipped without me ever seeing it is like the stuff that's on cloverkin.shop. that's a store NV that goes through Printful that prints tote bags, mugs, shirts, all those things. I've gone and made them. Like I made them on that site. I designed them, but they get printed and shipped from that place. And that's easier for me than having them do that. Like it cuts down on shipping time too. So it could take like 3 weeks for them to ship it, like print it and ship it from their facility. And if I wanted to have it come to me, it would take 3 weeks plus another week for me to get it, ship it out. So that's like 4 weeks. So if people get really scared at that point with waiting that long. That's almost as much as an international order, Printful's like one of the best sites out there that's actually legitimate. There's a lot that aren't, like I said, with Redbubble being very shady. Threadless is shady. Society6 is shady. TeePublic, T-Fury, I think is the other one. Those are all shady. They don't really quality check that things aren't stolen, things like that. But as far as quality, Printful, like I have all the things that are on the site. Like I made test versions of them and I brought them to myself. I wear them. I like them. I think they're good. Honestly, I don't know why I'm not wearing them during my streams. I should start doing that. That's really dumb. I'm really dumb for not doing that. A little bit, yeah, Alice, because it's another one of those problems where people are uploading things and nobody's really, and the quality was never really that great. The cuts they let the artist take aren't that great. It's the best of the shady places, but it's still not, But at least a lot of the time, Etsy is artists like me just putting up their stuff and you buy from them and go straight from them. I think for a while when you're starting, it has to kind of be from you. It's really hard to get something up and going when it's not from you if you're doing like prints and things. Because when we first started, we would order like say a run of 10 prints or something from Cat Print. We'd get those, then we'd announce that we have them. People would buy them, we'd ship them out. Depending on how many we shipped out, we'd order more. And you just kind of do that until you can start ramping things up. The problem with print-on-demand sites is that per thing yet you sell, you have to mark up how much. So like a mug could end up costing like $30, which is ridiculous. I don't know. I haven't heard of Printique before. I know Cat Print has good prices and good paper. They send you a free paper sample of all their papers. Yeah, they were good when we used them. We print at home now. We have a good enough printer, good enough paper. We just print from here. And it works fine now. But yeah, if you end up making a lot of prints, just buy a nice printer that's like $200-300 and you can print from home. Just make sure you can do like 13 by 19 size paper. And then you should be good. Alright, let's see how we're doing here. See if this is kind of ready. Adorama Picks. Is that in the US, Jane? I haven't heard of that. I'll have to check it out. Ink can be pretty expensive, yeah. So you can usually use third-party inks too, which are pretty good. V-Rai, thank you for the follow. How are you? Yeah, I haven't heard that. But yeah, you can definitely, use third-party inks in your printers. It can get expensive there too, but not as bad. But then you also void the warranty of your printer, so you kind of gotta take things in a stride, Like figure out what you actually want to do and all that. Sorry, I'm still kind of off today. And these are water markers, so I can kind of treat them like watercolor. Typically, it's giving me a tough time right now. I'm gonna dip into the white I've got that I usually use. Calibration can be, yeah. No. Yeah, we have. We've used generic inks in our Epson printers before we got a Canon. Our Canon right now is pretty dope. But we have friends that do third-party inks in Canons, and they do pretty giant-sized fine art prints, and they do really well. They have to refill them with syringes and all that, but it's like, it's one of those things, you're either paying for convenience or you're paying with your time. So it's whichever you feel better about. If you don't want to take the time to save money and refill your cartridges, then you go buy them. So it's kind of whichever, you feel like. I have the Canon IP 8720, I think. And I think it stopped being sold last year, but honestly, any $200 to $300 printer that's a Canon or an Epson, you can't go wrong, really. Yes, I did, Kat. Yes, I did. So we had continuous flow cartridges for our Epson before we got our Canon, and that worked really well for a long time. It was on the side of the printer, and there were these ribbons that were hooked up to the ink cartridges in the actual printer, and they'd be little tanks of ink, and as it would go, you wouldn't have to refill it for a couple months. And it was continuous flow, so you'd see on the side the ink tank would go down, and so you just refill it that way. Those worked well, honestly. But it was a lot of hubbub just to get it working. So now we just we buy the legitimate Canon inks and everything. We don't really want to screw with our Canon. But yes, Kat, I did use it. Water markers can be used on top of ink, because ink isn't like watercolor, where watercolor will pick up, like you can't really pick up ink as easily. So because of that, I'm gonna do this now too. Because of that, you can just go over the ink with the water marker. I could do this with the alcohol markers too, but I don't want to right now. Just trying to keep it all in the same thing. And then I can kind of blend out the water marker in a minute. So I can still get that rim light that I want. Yeah, it's a nice thing about the water markers. You can treat them like watercolor once they're down. And I'm gonna lighten up her face in a minute too. Nice meeting you too, Jane. Thank you so much for the raid. That was very nice of you. Thank you. Your oils are beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, I love that you're following along, Kat. Yay! Oh, thanks for doing the command. I think I will use some of my alcohol markers on this because I do want certain colors that aren't there right now. So, oh, that's gonna be way too different. colors that are kind of in the same vicinity, I guess, palette-wise. Maybe 9, maybe this one will be good. Yeah, it really is funny how different that is. It's like different but the same, like you said. No, I think it's good you're doing the hot press with extra things like this. Because like I said before, cold press isn't good really for additional things. It's kind of hard to do that with it. Okay. All my markers are running out. So give her a little bit more of a peach tint. I'm going to go over her with some white anyway to kind of unify her skin. I did. They change it all the time, honestly. Like, we were going to get Gabe his own Squarespace a while back, but honestly it's cheaper now because I got grandfathered in, so I'm still paying like $12 a month, to where I think they've raised it a little bit more. I'm not sure how much, but I know they did raise it and I'm still getting a deal. So I can't really leave because I'm, yeah, it really does dry fast. That's why it's like, oh, you gotta go. Yeah, I got very lucky. If I wanted to upgrade and have my Patreon basically be on my Squarespace where there's the membership side of the commerce, it'd be a little bit more. It'd be like $24 a month, I think. So, oh yeah, I'm staying where I am. But we basically have a bit.ly link. So if you go to bit.ly/gabograbs, I put Gabe's products on my site, but gave him like his own link to use. So if you buy anything on his site, you get a receipt from me. But we're doing that just to save money. And honestly, who cares? Most of the people that buy from him know I'm there anyway. But you too, Alice. Thank you for coming. Tell Parker I say hi. My speed is kind of bugging me. What about my speed, Aloe? What did I do? Am I going too fast or too slow? I don't know which it is. Let me see if I can use this. Now I'm going to go in. Oh, good. I'm too slow or you're too slow? Because either way, don't worry about it. Do not worry about it. Honestly, speed is not an indicator of skill, I guess. I mean, it can be, but depending on the artist, some people are fast but suck. I don't know. I think it's good to know kind of where you're at least. Oh, dude. No, I'm with you. I usually do pieces like within 20 minutes. I am not somebody who does slow stuff. Honestly, this is almost too slow for me. A lot of the people in the chat can attest that like every week I'm doing like a full painting or something in 2-3 hours. It's just this one has been, I have to wait. That's the only reason I'm not going fast is I have to wait with this one. It makes me wait because I have to dry, you know. But typically I can't stand waiting for things to dry, or it drives me nuts. I'm very impatient. So a lot of the time I do smaller pieces. That's the other thing. This thing is taking me a while because it is bigger. Bigger than my normal stuff. So that's part of it. Just work at your own speed, whatever that speed is. If you like working slower, that's fine. If you like working faster, that's fine. As long as you're doing the quality you want and all that other junk, you're good. There's no right or wrong with speed. Or just how to do art in general. If you're ever feeling pressured because of something like that, don't be. People are just good at what they do because they took time to figure out how they work best. And so should you. So figure out how you work best. She does have an arm there. That's why I gotta dig it out. Oh, wow. They're inching up, aren't they, Isabel? Dang. Yeah, that's a great way to put it, Kat. Seriously. Oh, yeah. No, doodle. Doodle a lot and often. I like to joke that my husband is the king of doodles. He started a tier on Patreon that every month you get a 32-page zine of all the doodles he's done during the month. The dude is nuts. I'm like, I didn't even realize he was finishing a whole sketchbook basically a month. And he is. It's insane. Like, he's fantastic what he does. The dude doodles. Truth. Yeah, he's hardcore. I mean, he's a pro comic artist, so that's part of the reason why. Sometimes I realize my mouth is gaping open while I'm drawing. And it can be embarrassing if I'm on stream and I realize I'm doing it. Anybody else do that? Like, you just mouth breathe during art sometimes and you realize you're doing it and you're like, oh my god. Oh my god. Oh yeah, clenching your jaw. I do that too. Oh my god. Actually, Alo, that's smart. I do that while I'm inking. You hold your breath and you're like, then you let go as you're ending the line. For real. Cute. I think that's cute. Kat, I'm with you though. The jaw clench is real. Ah, Dennis. Why are you subbing? Thank you, Dennis. Thank you. I appreciate it. Oh yeah, Prime. Thankful for those. Truth. Yeah, you gotta breathe. Faints. Oh, that's smart. I like that. Why is my resolution drawing? Throwing in some very faint chainmail. Dogs are barking. Oh yeah, the roof of your mouth. When you work, do you see the image in your head or are you like, let's see where this goes? I don't see images in my head before I draw. I just keep doodling till I find something. I'm kind of both. A lot of the time, if I do picture something in my head really vividly, it doesn't come out that way. It's really stupid. And the other times, I'm just like, I have this idea of what I want, but I like sculpt it in the page. You know, you kind of have to carve it out of the page. But yeah, I think it's a mix for me, Tad. Gabe, though, Gabe's got like photographic imagery. You got a cat, J-Mill? Aw, what kind of cat? What's their name? Tell me about your cat. Somebody earlier in the chat talked about that they got... Oh, it's EB. EB got a cat. Got their cat a shirt, and they put the picture of the cat in the shirt in the Discord, and it is phenomenal. He is going to work. Oh, that's okay, Dennis. I'm honored that you still give it to me. Thank you. Mochi. Aww. Cat shirt. I don't know. You'd have to ask. That's something completely different. I'm gonna need some gouache on this, I think. This is not going so well here. Or, oh, what? I'm dumb. Why did I just do that? I have fucking paint. I can do this right here. Oh, she does. Well, feel free to throw it in. Animals with their own Instagrams are the best animals. Only because then we get to see them. My dogs have their own, but I honestly don't get to update as much as I'd like. I still take the videos, I just don't upload them. I don't know why. God, I wanted her arms to have some dirt on them. This one might end up having to be a digital one. I like the effect of the digital coloring one I showed you guys before. So this has been a fun exercise, but I don't think I like it as much as my digital one. I'll still finish it though. Just in case somebody else likes it, they can have it. But personally, I like the other one better. Yeah, I could see that, Dennis. You don't need a separate one. So you kind of sculpt it too, Tad. Boss cat mochi. I love it. Let me see. Let's open it up. Oh my gosh. Is Mochi a lady? Oh my god, those eyes. What the... Her eyes are amazing. I love her. So in that case, Tad, I'm guessing a lot of the time digital is pretty nice for you, then you're not wasting a ton of paper. I feel like that's where digital's really nice because you take that time to, you know, carve things out. You know? She's a lady. Oh. Tad, I bet you do a lot of thumbnails first though, don't you? So aloe, for me, I do a lot of thumbnailing, so I know where it is, and then I can kind of carve it and carve it and carve it. Yeah, I think those of us who can't fully see it, we do a lot of thumbnailing. I think we have to. Alright, I'm gonna do some glow bits here. Lots and lots and lots. Lots of thumbnails. Oh yeah, no, thumbnailing is extremely good. Like for working out compositions and seeing what works and what doesn't. And doing color studies is good too. Like for this, I had an idea of what I wanted to do for the lighting, and then I mocked it up digitally first, you know. And then I was like, okay, now I know what to do with the ink. So then, you know, I can do that later. So doing actual color studies first, or at least light studies, those can help. Yeah, Fantasia's a real thing, for real. I remember Gabe had brought that up on a stream when we lived at Vaughn House. That was a long time ago. I remember that. I remember that talk because a lot of people that day found out they had it. It was pretty crazy. But yeah, it's a definite medical thing for it. Like if somebody says, picture an apple in your head, and you can't picture an apple, you might have aphantasia. That sounds terrifying. Oh god. I don't know, it goes back and forth for me. For me, it's not like a clear image. It's fuzzy, typically. Like, I can't make out details or anything like that, but I get a gist of it. So I'm able to go from that, but yeah, it's never fully fleshed out for me. Unless I'm having a good day, I guess. I might have parts of it that are really clear, but it's never a fully clear thing for me. Right, and if you can't see it, I think that's the thing. Like, if you can't picture it, or if you do picture it, how do you picture it? Is it a cartoony apple? Is it a realistic apple? Is it like an impressionistic apple? What kind of apple is it? This white here like this. Got too close. There we go. Wow, smells in your dream? That's crazy. Yeah, Tad, that's what I see. It's like, it's blurry. You get the overall silhouette, which I guess is all we really need, right? But it'd be nice to have the full thing. But then I guess if I did see the full thing, I feel like maybe I wouldn't actually be creating it. I would almost second guess myself that it's mine if I saw a full thing. Tad, do you feel like that? Like, if you saw a crystal clear version of whatever character you were trying to develop, wouldn't you be almost suspicious? I feel like I'd be really suspicious. Oh, no. Jamie, we mean like I know how to do, say, chainmail from my head. Like, just because I kind of know how it works, because I've seen enough chainmail. Visual library just means that. Like, you've seen enough things where, you know, if somebody's like, draw a mop, you'd be able to just draw a mop. You know, it may not be just, like, photorealistic, but it'll have the elements of a mop, you know? Right, Tad? I'm almost glad I don't see it, I guess, that true. Well, thank you, I asked. I appreciate that. This colored pencil isn't as dark as I'd like it to be. I might have to keep doing this with ink because the pencil's not cutting it. I could see that then, Alo. Aloe. I mean, do art however you need to do art to do art. As long as you're not stealing or copying, you do you. There's nothing wrong with using reference. I don't know where that big giant reference debate came from, where people are saying that reference is bad. It's like, no, reference is not bad. If you take the photo reference and maybe, you know, put it into your work and then just go over that, that could be bad. But just using it as like, this is how this thing looks, like as a literal reference. There's something that went viral a little bit ago where like younger people were saying using reference was cheating or something. It's like, it's not cheating. Integrating reference into your piece is kind of cheating, but like actually taking it and putting it in and working around it, that's almost like, you know, tracing or something. But otherwise, you know. Oh, that's cool, Jamie. I'm glad you're able to visualize it sometimes. I mean, you can make something original, but you have to understand that original means that it's a melting pot of everything you've ever seen or experienced in your life. So in that respect, nothing is original, but it might be a version of something no one's ever seen before. Does that make sense? Does it really, Kat? Cool. But that's the cool thing about, you know, doing art and telling stories and stuff, is you have to do it because no one's had the same experiences you've had. No one's had the same upbringing you have. They haven't seen the same combination of the things you've seen. So those things will give it your take on it, which that's original. But yeah, nothing's really truly original anymore. But that shouldn't stop you from making the things you want to make. Honestly, that sort of thing plays more into time. Like, I always worry that, oh yeah, since I do a lot of mouse art and stuff, people are gonna, you know, compare me to Mouse Guard. And sometimes they do. But other people will see it and they'll say Redwall. Other people see it and say Secret of Nim. So depending on their experiences, they're all going to relate my art to something else. And in the future, it might be that, you know, you might be that next thing that people are relating things to. So nothing's original, but you might, in the span of time, you might be that next original thing, because if somebody sees your work before they see other people's, you're their reference. You're the thing that they saw first. You were their first impression, so that's what they remember. So anything they see after that, they're going to correlate to you. So that's kind of where original actually starts being important, you know? No, I haven't invented mice. All right, Tad. I'll see you later. Enjoy your dinner. It was so nice to see you. Jamie, maybe you'd be a really good sommelier then. Either that or like a perfume creator or something. That's kind of cool. A scent specialist. That's an artist for sure. Somebody who creates scents. Things like that. That's pretty cool. I always think those kind of jobs are really neat. So it's weird to think that the kids growing up on the internet now and everything, they're not growing up with the same influences, say, I grew up with in the same way. You know, some of their influences might just be internet artists and not, you know, 80s movies and stuff like we had. So, like I said, instead of me, you know, somebody being like, oh, your stuff reminds me of Dark Crystal, to me, you know, they'll be saying, oh my god, that reminds me of Cloverkin. Because of this and this reason. A lot of people will be like, I don't know who that is. You know, and that's okay because there's going to be so many artists when these kids grow up. But back then, in the 80s, it was like you had a handful of people that were, you know, developing movies and things back in the day. It's like Brian Froud, Jim Henson, Sid Mead doing a lot of the Star Wars stuff. I think it was Sid Mead. Ian McCaig, he was in there too. I don't know. Anyway. I think it was Sid Mead. Maybe I'm... Either way. There are like very specific people who developed the properties we have now. You know, and then in the future, it's going to be different. It's not going to be the same people. I don't think everybody can do that, Jamie. I think that might be a special thing, like seeing pictures in your head. That might just be your version of being able to see pictures in your head. Maybe that's your superhero power. Mouth is too low. Where's my sketch? Oh, her nose is too big. That's what's looking weird. And her mouth needs to be higher. Her chin needs to be sharper. There we go. Better. This needs to be. I don't want to cook for other people. I can understand. Needed to fix that. Fixing ink is a little tricky. I'll have to wait for that to dry and then I can kind of go over it again. This is a good pen for doing kind of halo effects. It's not too opaque, but it's enough to get that look in. And it's got a brush tip, so I'm able to get in there. Hmm. Yep, there you go. Live your life how you want to. As long as it doesn't hurt anybody. I mean, if you want to murder people, you can't go around murdering people. But, you know. I mean, you can, but you shouldn't. Damn it. Yeah, bummer, right? Yeah. Pretty happy with this. For an experiment. Didn't go completely how I wanted to, maybe 65% of what I thought. I still like the digital one better, so I might just do that in the future, but this is still fun. I might take some pastels to this and maybe some gold too, like I normally do, but I think it would look nice on the sword. It would give the glint. I also might cover up half of this and kind of splatter on some dirt. I don't know. I can't tell if I really want that or not. This is one of those ones I gotta sit on for a minute. I don't know completely how I feel about it yet. So it's like some pieces you need to just let set, you know? Also, you guys can't see exactly what I'm seeing, so that kind of sucks, but you know. Haha. It's more than 4%. I mean, as long as you can, you know, put something on paper, you can improve your confidence pretty easily. Well, unless we have different ideas of what confidence is. Is the confidence in your abilities or in your art itself? Because one of you might be talking about ability, the other one might just be talking about your art itself, like the fact you do art. So that could be a communication thing. Everyone likes her. Cute, good answer. This will give me the look I want. I'm probably pretty close to ending here. My brain is mush. This week I pushed myself to get all this stuff out, so I kind of ran myself into burnout territory. So doing this right now is probably pretty ambitious, but that's okay. It was fun. I mean, I'll put it up on my site in case anybody wants it. It was a nice exercise regardless. I do still like the idea behind the piece, so I'll probably do something with the digital version. Reminds me of my little girl with the sword print. Like, she's the older version and she kind of found out that violence doesn't solve anything, that sort of deal. So I kind of like that this is the answer to that. And it's a lot more glum than the original. It also feels very similar. Thank you, EB. Oh, that's an exciting time though, Kat. I love it. Aloe, I think we have a really nice community here. My Discord has a lot of the people that are here right now, and I don't know, we're doing a really fun like art challenge thing right now for spring. That's kind of like a Secret Santa, like you make something that includes the likes of someone else you got randomly paired up with. So it's like Secret Santa, but it's done with art and interests, and it's really fun. I don't know, I like it. With this piece, she just buried a sword. She's like putting it to rest, like a previous life sort of deal. That's all. That's all I really wanted with it. I wanted a certain mood and then some symbolism in there. That's about it. Like I said, this was mainly an experimented piece. Like, I wanted to do Inkwash again, and I don't usually draw humans anymore, so I wanted to, you know, tackle that again. I don't know. All around, it was just an experimental piece that I wanted to touch base on. I'm not upset with it. I think it turned out fine. It's not exactly what I shot for, but it's not terrible. I tend not to think anything I make is terrible. Things just need improvements in areas. A lot of people need to start treating art and their own art like video games. Like, if you fail a level in a video game, does that mean you're terrible at video games? No, it just means you need more practice and you need to, you know, learn more about that level, which is like learning more about, you know, a medium or, you know, anything like that. There's nothing crazy about it. I don't get affected anymore by things that don't come out how I want them to. I just say, oh, next time, no big deal. There's always a next one. And I tend not to do big pieces if I can help it, just because I don't need to. I don't know. A lot of my, like, client work is big pieces, bigger pieces, so when I'm doing my regular stuff, I usually do the smaller things. So, if anybody here has enjoyed anything I've been talking about, saying, you like my art, I also tell stories. I write a lot. My Patreon has a lot of options to get those things. Every month I have 2 tiers that I write for and make stickers for and creatures and all those sorts of things. And if you want tutorials and stuff like that, you can look at my digital tiers. But yeah, check out my Patreon. It's got a lot of stuff in there. And I might have some upcoming things too that are happening, but still trying to get through my commission backlog that I've got, my commission queue. And then once I'm through with that, probably later this year, things are gonna get crazy. So hang in there. For now, we're just doing the personal work on Saturdays. And then come the fall, like I said, things are gonna get nuts. It sucks I gotta wait till fall, but sometimes that's just how it goes. Yeah, if you want to, Jamie. It really is, Fable. Like, I thought long and hard about that one, because a lot of the games I play are skill-based. So, like, a lot of the music games I play, like Beat Saber, Synth Riders, Pistol Whip, those, and just any other game that kind of requires some sort of skill, when you fail a level, you know, do you really beat yourself up, or do you get kind of like competitive and you're like, I gotta do that again, and you're like, I know I can do it. It should be the exact same thing with art. I think people treat art too personally, and you need to separate yourself from the art. You are not your art. Your art is just, you know, a reflection of maybe where you're at mentally that day. If you've been experiencing burnout, if you slept badly, like, your art can be affected by so many things. So if your art is bad one day, don't sweat. It'll get better. Oh yeah, Beat Saber is dope. I play on Expert and Expert Plus, if anybody wants to play me. Synth Riders is also very good. We actually, I've played the hell out of Beat Saber the past 2 years, so I was kind of, but I ended up getting Synth Riders recently, like within the past month. It's dope, so check that one out too, J-Mill. Serenity, I think we're leaving. It can, but you really shouldn't let it. Like, that's one of those things where you have to struggle with it. You do put so much of yourself into it, but to know that it's a reflection of you and not an extension of you is, I think, the most important thing. You know, it's not connected to you. Hi, Moofins! Oh, man. I haven't seen you in a while either. How are you? I was just leaving. Because it's... how long have we been streaming? 4 hours? Oh, God, that's so long. Feels like 1. Well, thank you, Halo. Aloe. God. I keep wanting to say Aloy because of Horizon Zero Dawn. But anyway. Let's see. We've had some good chats on here today. Oh, really, Serenity? Cool. Yeah, I know it's Aloe. I just keep thinking Aloy. Sorry. You're welcome, Box. Your things should be arriving in, you know, probably a week or 2 since you're overseas, but it's out. It's on the way. It should arrive fine. I made it pretty sturdy. Oh, I'm glad, Kat. Thank you for telling me. Yeah, it's a little bit more moody than the original. This one is a little bit more... I don't know. I personally really like line art and clean colors and things. I'm not big into like shading and rendering. I really like cel shaded, and I really like this a lot better. So I think this isn't what I shot for, but it's here. But I mean, someone else might really like this style. It's just what I ended up kind of just happening. I think I needed to do this. I needed to do a bunch of blops and things like that, and that's just what happened. So I think if I do finish this in the future, if I ever get time, maybe next weekend I'll do the digital version. Because originally I was going to fall back on my comfort zone and do it on this in markers, because most of you know I'm primarily markers. But I wanted to, you know, challenge this time. So anyway. Oh, I'm glad, EB. Yeah, I gotta figure out what April's card's gonna be. Should be fun though. Oh, EB. Oh. Thank you. Warm fuzzies. Oh no, box. This should be fine though. It's an envelope, so we should be good. Okay, so I hope everybody has a really good week. I stream Saturdays at 2 p.m. CST. You can see a lot of my socials here. I'm primarily Cloverkin everywhere. So if you go to cloverkin.com/art, you'll find my originals. And this will be up there next week, I'm sure. So, yeah, I hope you have good things you eat this week. Have fun. Take rest. Be nice to people. And yeah, I'll see you next time, okay? 2 p.m. CST next Saturday. Bye!